Welcome everybody to another episode of Anger Management Productions, Real Shit Talking. I am Sasha D. Robinson. With me, we have Ricky and Pitmaster Sloan. How are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty well, sir. How you
Well,
doing?
Uh, So today we're gonna have ourselves a pretty nice conversation. We're gonna have ourselves. We're gonna. I want our guys. We're gonna go ahead and start talking now. If you can tell with Pitmaster, he's really more worried about the Western Conference Finals game, so he's got that on
hey,
right
it's gonna be. I'm locked in. I got the headphones on so I can see, I can watch, and I multitask at work all day long, so it's all good.
now. I have the game on. I have the game on myself, but so I can see. 'Cause I saw your eye just looking back,
Yeah,
looking up there. So it's just an
yeah, yeah.
introduction. The game ain't on yet.
It's just about a tip. It's about a tip, but we
Uh,
good.
So,
No,
Pitmaster, I'm gonna start with you right now. Everybody know who you are. Tell us about your favorite team, and allegiance, and everything like that.
my allegiance is San Antonio Spurs first and foremost. It's our only professional sports team that we've had for since 1973. So I was able to go to my first game when I was about 7 years old at Hemisphere Arena. So I've been a fan before we got Robinson. So Robinson through Duncan through now Wimby. So I didn't get to see Iceman play, but I saw a lot of highlights. And then
Yeah.
as far as football goes, Dallas Cowboys for life, man. That's how it's gonna be, always to the day I die. Now, with that being said, I'm a realist. I'm one of the fans that says every year is our year because I know that's not how it goes. But I do think that this season they made some decent moves on the defensive side of the ball for the first time in a long time. And with the addition of that Philadelphia defensive coordinator, I think they're going to be formidable.
Hmm.
Hopefully maybe get a wild card. Get close. We'll see what happens. It's a long season. And then as far as college football, UT and Notre Dame all day, baby. That's what I roll. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Fighting Irish all day. Hook 'em horns. Yes, yes. College basketball, North Carolina, Texas. North Carolina. If you don't know why, it's the goat. That's where the goat went. In my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time. So boxing, Julio Cesar Chavez, Pernell Whitaker, Tommy Hearns, Hagler, Canelo, De La Hoya. You can say whatever you want about De La Hoya wearing fishnets, but that man never ducked anybody. And then
Hmm.
UFC is up and coming. Got a lot of respect for those guys. I've actually had the opportunity to roll on the mat a couple of times and be humbled very quickly. So
Yeah.
um, boxing too, as I did as a kid, had to learn how to throw hands. That boxing was a big part of growing up, and we watched all the big fights. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of my background. Baseball, Rangers and Cubbies. That's what I like to watch.
Okay.
So
Go ahead, Ricky.
My allegiance has got to be to the Raiders for football. I started becoming a fan in 2021. Was a really big fan of Derek Carr because he was a big fan of Kobe when I started watching it. And it's been a few rough years, but we're rebuilding. We're good, looking good. We got our quarterback in the future, hopefully. We got a couple star powers with Genty and Bowers. Especially we're looking great with our coaching right now because we got the offensive coordinator from Seattle Seahawks. We're looking good. I think we'll hopefully Fernando's going to sit behind Kirk mid-season. Hopefully the rest of the season. I don't want him to start rushing. That's what happened with the Browns quarterbacks and the Jets quarterbacks. They always were rushing their quarterbacks trying to get them into that stardom when you can't really find that Mahomes or Josh Allen. Like those are a dime a dozen. Um,
mhm.
I'm from 210, so I'm a Spurs fan all day. I've been a Spurs fan since I came out the womb. Um, Sadly, I was born in 2006, so they won right before, right after me. But I gotta watch Kawhi for a little bit until he left. Um, some hard years until Wemby came, until we got our rookies, and we got our sophomores castle going. Um, I enjoy boxing. I'm not as big a fan of boxing. I'm more UFC and martial arts. Been watching it since I was little. The last recall I can see of my first fight was watching Frank Mir get his arm broke.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember ordering that one.
That was my first fight. Um, Baseball, I like to just watch here and there during the playoffs. I'm not really a big spring baseball, tight end, mostly basketball and football are my strong suit.
Okay. So, Ricky, quick question. Because you said hopefully they got the quarterback of the future. Do you actually really think that Fernando Mendoza is going to be is going to be the future, or are you just hoping?
I genuinely believe he is. He is a project quarterback. He's 6 foot. He's tall. You can see over the line. Indiana ran a very pro style heavy offense in college, and especially you got Tom Brady the goat up there as owner. He's definitely coming down and watching his mechanics and definitely keeping him safe too. Um, I think he's the real deal. I really do.
Mm. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't really sold on Fernando Mendoza coming out of college. There's when I saw him, I just saw Ken Dorsey. If you don't know Ken Dorsey, University of Miami, who was surrounded by talent at Miami. Uh, so
I can I
so
can I can see I can see that comparison, Sasha. But I can also say how many people from the University of Indiana got drafted in the first round besides him.
well, I
That
mean,
that Miami class was
yeah, I mean,
those
yeah.
classes were, you
But I
know.
only think the only reason why he was drafted, why he was number one pick, why he was picked number one was because I gotta say this. The only reason why I think that he went number one was because he was a Heisman Trophy quarterback. I wasn't impressed with him. I was not impressed with him in college. I was not impressed, not one bit. There was nothing that showed me that he is going to be like a franchise changer. He just showed me he was just a tall quarterback with a nice arm, like you said, he had all the talents. But whenever I look at number one, a quarterback being number one, I'm thinking like you're going to elevate my team. I'm looking at somebody like Peyton Manning or like you said, there's Joe Burrow, somebody who's going to like, yeah, that's it. When I saw Fernando, I just looked at just a regular old quarterback back there who just did it from a pretty nice team. That was a pretty good Indiana team.
It was, but it was also a team that was filled with a lot of 3 stars and 2 stars, and I think maybe they had one 5 star. So, I mean, honestly, that to me that goes back to the coaching too, man.
Yeah,
Signati is part of the Saban tree, so I mean,
mm,
it has a lot to do with getting the best out of your players.
yeah,
I think Fernando has a good 2 3 years. I don't know if you I know you probably remember, Sasha, like uh, before when you would pick a quarterback and that quarterback would sit two
yeah.
seasons,
That's it.
three
Yeah,
seasons, and it was that was the norm. Now a lot of these guys don't get a chance to develop as much as they probably should. They get thrown into the fire like, hey, you either sink or swim,
mm,
and sometimes that's not always the best
doesn't
route.
work.
You know, I mean, you look at what's happened with Sam Darnold. This is a perfect
Mm,
example. Like they threw in the towel on him. Like, yeah, he's a bust. Goes and wins a Super Bowl. I mean, it took us some time, and I think the last 2 3 seasons he's been a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the league, and it's one of them things, man. It's catch 22, right? You're gonna go get that number one quarterback, that Heisman Trophy winner, and you're hoping for the best. You know, he's got all the tools, and sometimes they don't pan out. I mean, Jamarcus Russell, everybody knows
golly,
that story. You know what I'm saying?
don't
Like,
get me started on Jamarcus Russell, man.
The difference between Jamarcus
and
and
it sucks
Fernando,
because
I would say,
he had
was
he had
mindset.
him.
You know, it was
And
mindset
I
more
think
than
that's the
that.
part that's separate. Yeah, exactly. That separates him. I think
That's
he's
the
got a little
mindset.
bit different. Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
mean,
He's a
Jamarcus
little
was
bit more
pretty lazy,
humble.
man, and he lied about watching film on a CD that was a blank. Like Fernando,
Yeah,
he's
that
a
makes
leader. He's getting his troops ready to war to battle.
Yeah,
That's what you saw during college. I mean, that's what I would have wanted in a quarterback. I want somebody that's going to lead a team, and I mean, even Peyton Manning, his first 2 years, he didn't start out great. He threw a bunch of picks and was sloppy.
first year. First
First
year,
year, yeah,
second year they made the playoffs.
true, very
Did
true.
they really make it? He made it his
Yeah,
second year. I don't remember.
second year they made the playoffs. First year they went 3-13. He did throw a whole bunch of picks. Second year, that was that year they got Edgerrin James,
Oh,
and
okay.
and they and
From
that
where?
that offense
The
blew
U.
up. Yeah, so yeah, so they got Marvin Harrison. Him and Marvin Harrison was connecting. The second year they got Adrian James, and that offense took off. And then think about then they got what you call it,
Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne. There you go. See, so
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I get where you guys are coming from, and I'm not going to disagree with it. This isn't going to be like a hot take. This is just my opinion, and I
No,
and I don't and I hope I'm wrong about. I hope I'm wrong about it. It's just that whenever I just looked at him, I just never saw somebody who's just like, yeah, he's going to be the game changer. But just like what you were saying, Rick, they do have Kirk Cousins, that they can have him be the guy, let him learn. Because I'm gonna tell you something that nobody ever talks about, and that was Aaron Rodgers. Remember
yep.
back in '04 when it was '05 when Alex Smith and Aaron
When
Rodgers,
Favre, yep,
yeah,
he had
and
to wait.
everybody was saying that Aaron Rodgers should go number one over Alex Smith. I'm gonna tell you right now, 49er fan, I wanted Aaron Rodgers, but I'll tell you right now, if Aaron Rodgers would have went to San Francisco, he would not be the player that he was. He had
Mhm.
to learn. 49ers was a mess at that time.
Yeah,
They were a mess. They didn't have the personnel. Mike McCarthy was just there for 1 year, then he left. Alex Smith didn't have so Alex Smith had to go went through 4 or 5 offensive coordinators before he had some consistency. Aaron Rodgers had to learn, sat behind Brett Favre, and then Mike McCarthy came in and he learned how to be that
he
player.
did. He did.
See, so that's where I look at when it comes to when you come to so I could be so wrong, especially when you have Kirk Cousins right there. We know Kirk Cousins is a proven winner. Don't
Yeah,
rush him in, just like what they did when he was in Atlanta. Because they were really ready to bring in Michael Penix when Michael
yeah.
Penix should have just sat.
And
And even
again, that's a perfect example.
even back to Mahomes, I mean, he sat for a year behind Alex Smith, and then
Right.
once he traded Alex Smith, and then Mahomes took off. They got to learn to sit
Mhm.
behind a well-known quarterback that's been in the league for a long time, that's know the plays in and out, that knows the coverages, and that's like I said, that's what the Jets and Browns do. They just go
Yeah.
bust the quarterbacks in.
Mhm. So quick question, guys. Let's go ahead and let's get into this. I want to know right now. I know that y'all saw the NFL schedule.
Yeah.
Do you think your favorite team has a good chance at making the playoffs? And if so, which team are you looking forward to seeing or not seeing?
Go ahead, son.
I don't see us really making the playoffs at all. I see us maybe getting at least 5, 7 wins, if anything.
Yeah.
Uh, our team is still young. Our defense still needs a little bit of help. Our weapons aren't that great. I mean, we have a lot of underrated players, you would say, on the wide receiver court, but
Mhm.
receiving, all we really have is Bowers, and then we have Jency. We have a good running back. He's probably got 4 or 5 more years of excellence and talent, hopefully more. Um, I just think we need another weapon. I think maybe we, don't make the playoffs, miss the playoffs. And next year's draft, we got Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams coming in. We can
Mhm.
maybe snag wide receivers from that.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. What about you? What about their team that you're not looking forward to? I'll put it to that one. Rick, what about you? What do you think the Cowboys' chance at making playoffs?
It's like we kind of chopped it up about it a couple days ago. I think offensively we're there last year. We have a really good offense, a lot of weapons, especially with the addition of Pickens. I felt like Pickens was more, um, what do you say it? He was more dependable than Lamb.
Yeah.
Lamb had some major drops in some big games, and then he got hurt, and I felt like Pickens carried the load, man. Like, and he made some amazing catches.
Hmm.
I think with them healthy, the running back that we have, the running back tandem, uh, and with the defense, like I said, with the defensive moves that they made, with getting the secondary shoring up the defensive line. I know we traded. I know you got one of our defensive linemen over there in San Fran, OC, and I'm going to miss him because I thought he was a great defensive lineman. But I can see what the Philly coordinator is trying to do. He's trying to get them thick boys up in the middle, stop the run with Quentin Williams already there, and then with the pick that we got with Caleb Downs, man,
He's
that
a
kid
monster.
he's going to be special. And so I can see the Cowboys. I'm hoping for 12-5. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm not going to say they're going to go 13-4 or 14-3 or anything like that. Do they have the potential to do that? Yes, but I'd see them kind of like they're on that outside. I see them putting it together later in the season as opposed to early in the season. If that makes sense. I was, looking at the schedule the boys got, and I was like, damn, like the first couple of games are tough matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the season's got some meat on the bone, and then towards the end is when it's not as rough. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a tough season, man. I'm not. That's another reason why I'm like, nah, they're gonna go. They're only gonna lose 2 games or 3 games. Nah, man, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be predicated on who's got enough guys to finish the year because
Yeah.
every year it's an offensive lineman goes down or a defensive tackle goes down or some key piece that everybody overlooks. Like, oh, it's just a tackle. Tackles are super important.
Mm-hmm.
And they're protecting that blind side. And if you don't have a guards that can run block, then they know then the defense is going to key on you and
Right.
blitz. They're going to make you throw 60 times a game, and that's not gonna win a lot of ball games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see, so that's where I was looking at too, because with the 49ers, regardless of the fact, last year, they were a game away from possibly winning, getting number one. Problem is that they were injury riddled team, and don't let that record fool you. And this is the one thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Everybody like, oh, Kyle Shanahan did a good job of coaching, and they won games. But think about it: the 49ers had a cupcake schedule last year. They had a really cupcake schedule last year, and all of a sudden, you're going to be coming back into this, and you're going to be limping in with like Nick Bosa coming back. You're going to have Dre Greenlaw, who's also injury prone. I see that your whole ass Spurs, they can't hold on to a lead because all of a sudden now the Thunder is coming back after they jumped out on them.
They did, of course. I mean, they was up. It took them 10 minutes to score a bucket. If you look at
Yeah, I tried to teach you about that.
it,
But
no, it's all good. I don't anticipate this series being. If there's a blowout in this series, I'll be very surprised.
we'll circle back to that one in a moment because trust me, we're going to really get on that one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
because I really got to understand the hatred. I don't get the hatred for the Spurs.
the hatred, and you'll understand. But yeah, it's just yeah. I'm looking at the 49ers schedule right now, and the
Hmm.
49ers, they open up against the Rams. I hate the Rams. And then the Dolphins, Cardinals, Broncos, the Seahawks. I'm going to that. I'm going to the Commanders game. My wife, because
Nice.
I turned 49 this year, so I told her for my 49th, I want to go to Santa Clara for a 49ers football game, and that's going to be a home game.
All right, all right.
And then they got the Falcons. They have their bye. Like I said, then they have the Raiders, Cowboys, Minnesota, Seattle, the Giants. Who's going to probably be real good? Then the Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, the Eagles, who are going to be looking for payback, and then they finish off against the Cardinals. It's not going to be an it's not going to be an easy schedule as it was last year.
Hmm.
And so I think they're going to. I think the Niners are going to barring injuries from anybody else. I'm predicting at least if they can, they'll probably be a wild card, and they're going to have to. They're going to probably have to go through. They're probably going. The road is going to probably go through LA to get to LA. That's my opinion.
Probably.
What about
I can
what,
agree with
what
that.
about you, Ricky?
For the first 6 weeks, I mean, we play four teams that were in the playoffs. I mean, we
Hmm.
got the Dolphins week one, and week two we go play the Chargers. I mean, Justin Herbert played the then we go week three to the Saints. I mean, they're not a pushover team. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. Then we go play the Chiefs, and then we got the Bills. We're playing two top five quarterbacks almost back to back. Um, Really top 10 if you're including Justin Herbert, which I think, in my opinion, he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a rough first 6 weeks, especially with our young guys. They're not as experienced, and then we got the Patriots week five. The
Hmm.
defending AFC champions. it's gonna be a tough first 6 weeks, and we got to get used to our new coaches and how the game plans are running and how the system's gonna be working and what type of system if he's gonna initiate the Seattle Seahawks offense to the Raiders offense with Jensen and Bowers and Kirk. We'll see, but it's gonna be tough for 6 weeks.
Yep.
I
And
got I got a question to ask before you say that. Last year's Monday night game, how was your household?
Oh, it was great. I
That
don't think he came. He came by. I went and watched it with my cousin at
mm,
some pool place off of 281. They had. I was actually the wings there were pretty good. I was kind of
mm,
impressed. Yeah.
yeah.
Only thing that was
So
frustrating was they had a because I do audio visual and project manager, so they
yeah.
had a video wall and everything was uneven and it didn't line up and that shit was just frustrating to look at.
Mm. And they took the lead. They can't hold on.
They seem to do pretty good, all right, in the last first two rounds. So it's a you get a little too excited sometimes. You post too
Yeah, you're
early.
right. I am getting a little excited. I was waiting for that. But anyway, so I just wanted to know because are you the type that would call your son and be like and rub it in his face
A
when the
little
Raiders
bit,
lose?
a little bit. It was I get, it was hard though because we both sucked. So it's like you know what I mean. It's like what are you gonna do? You know.
Praise waiter.
It's a 2 point lead, man. It's not a 22 point lead.
So hey, so with this upcoming NFL schedule, is there somebody that you guys are looking forward to seeing?
I mean, for the Raiders, it's always fun to see them play the Chiefs. It's always going to be a battle.
Yeah, you talking
Even
about matchups or players?
Either or.
I don't know.
I like to see Crosby go against the Chiefs. I mean, him and Mahomes are great competitors, especially against each other, especially throughout these years. And it's always, you know, one's gonna get a win no matter what. We got to win. When they went to the Super Bowl a few years back on Christmas, and we were the only team to beat them until the Super Bowl until they lost. They won. I think that was the 2023 or 2024 with the
23,
Eagles.
24.
With the Eagles, yes, sir. But it's
Oh,
always
no,
about
it was against the 49ers.
2023. Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably, trust me, don't get me started on that Super Bowl. The 49ers should have blew out the Chiefs that game.
Yeah.
Are you
I
talking
was
about when
actually,
it ended 1919 in regulation?
No,
yes.
oh, no, no, 23-24. The 49ers should have blew out the Chiefs that game.
It was where you won the bet, Dad.
That was when
Yeah.
I won that 3,300
Yeah.
because I hit 9-9.
Yeah. It's
You never
a,
saw me cheer so much for a field goal in my life, bro.
You know what? I would normally say we don't want no damn Cowboy fans cheering for it, but if you got some bet off that,
Bro, and you know what was cool is like
mm,
it was like we right before we were going because it was his senior year,
mhm,
so we went to Colorado for spring break, and we had a blast. It was a little extra cushion to have when we went up there.
okay. So let me go ahead and real quick because this is one thing that I want to make sure that because it looks like this would probably be a good long discussion. That since you know right now we're talking about the NBA conference finals because they're set.
It's
What are
27,
what are
26 too.
yeah, and they're about to tie too. What are your thoughts on the overall playoffs? The overall playoffs. What are your thoughts on the overall
I've
playoffs? Not just the NFL
so
right now.
I've actually enjoyed this playoffs more than in the past. I said probably the past 6 or 7 years. Not just because the Spurs are in it. I felt like it was very I want to be friends type playoffs. Everybody wants to be their friend, and this year you've seen some scraps. You've seen some hard fouls, some
Mhm,
90s, 80s, 90s basketball, which I grew up watching. So I'm like some of these flagrants. I'm like, man, that was just a fucking bow. That was just a foul. That was you get a flagrant one, but you don't kick the guy out of the game.
mhm,
And I think they've been competitive for the most part, with the exception of the OKC matchups. Um, but everybody else has been pretty good. Knicks look pretty strong. That Pistons Cavs series was great until the last game. I was like, this is crap. But um, even Minnesota, man, I got to give them props because that was the matchup that I didn't want. Everybody was talking about Denver, 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 and I was like, wow, actually, Minnesota matches up pretty good against this. I felt our youth and our speed, broke away. Um, but it was good for them to feel that, you know, they had to go against the grain a little bit. Like, hey, you got to feel a little bit uncomfortable in the playoffs. I think every young team's got to feel that. So I've enjoyed it. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed the playoffs this year. Yeah,
What about you? What about you, Ricky?
Yeah, they definitely, back to what my dad was saying, there's been some scraps, and I only saw that really in highlights. I didn't see the real 2000s. I've only really watched 2000s to 2010s until now.
Hmm.
Recent memory for me, this playoff matchups and this Western Conference Finals, it's reminding me of a lot of Thunder, or not Thunder, Golden State and Rockets for
Yeah.
2018, 2017, and it's been more competitive. There's a lot more three balls and a lot younger teams and a lot of just more highly competitive games. And minus the exception of the last Pistons game, but we've had a lot of more game sevens than in recent memory. Um, they've just been more exciting. Just minus the OKC matchups. I mean, that's just yeah.
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 Ricky, you said you were born in '06, right?
Yes, sir.
Because my son, he was born in '06 also, and and I don't and the Spurs somehow, unfortunately, they won in '07, that that year, the year you were born. But the reason why I bring this up, because my son, like I said, he was born in '06 also, and I had this picture of him. He was laying down on the pallet, in my living room, and there he was watching the game, and we were watching the game two of the Spurs and Nuggets game. And and Rich, I don't know if you remember this game, but this is that game when I think Robert Ory hit a clutch three in the final seconds in that
Probably I
game
do
two.
remember that game. Yeah,
And the only reason why I remember that game, because it looked like he was watching the game. The boy is a couple months old, but he's just sitting there watching the game. So when your son said he was born in '06, I was like, wow, Kendall and him the same age. I remember Kendall was watching that game about
yeah,
that time. So it's just like now, time flew by because it's like damn near 20 years later,
yeah. It's
so
exactly 20 years later, bro.
yeah, when just thinking about that, just thinking about that. But speaking of that, I'm like interest. What, I kind of like the playoffs right now. Outside of what OKC, again, I guess we all can agree. OKC's just been running through everybody. Phoenix had no reason being in the playoffs. As a diehard Suns fan, they had no reason playing. They shouldn't. They
True, but at the same time, I'll give Phoenix credit, man. They battled and they got in.
battled what? I
I'm
was
talking about through the season because they had. I think Green was out like a quarter
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
year. Like
Jalen Green was out. Yeah.
to just what I'm saying is to have an opportunity just to get in there. And I know it's not about moral victories, but to start out the way they did,
Mm.
and I can't stand Dylan Brooks, but I would love to have him on the Spurs team. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Explain that.
Draymond, I can't stand Draymond, but if he was coming to the Spurs, I'd fucking love it. We kind of need one of those guys. Every team needs one of those guys.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like when it came to the Phoenix, I watched that, and me and my boy Titus, we was talking about that. I'm like, man, Phoenix had no reason being in this being out there. And like, how many games do you think Phoenix is going to win? Like, they need to be happy that be happy. Hey, we made the playoffs. We want to play in game. So that's what it is. And a surprise. Congratulations, you get the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, no shit.
I know.
Get the defending champs.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go out that way. They had
Yeah.
no business out there. And then what was it? It's either you pick your poison. No, 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 no. I'll say because Phoenix did sort of kind of in a way match up well against the Spurs, though.
They did. They gave him. They
Yeah.
gave him. They gave him a hard time. They gave him a hard
Mhm.
time.
They gave him a hard time. So I'm over here saying, "Oh, what you play against San Antonio?" But again, that San Antonio team was not the same San Antonio team that when they gave them their first loss.
Yeah, no, you see the growth throughout the year with the Spurs,
Mhm.
and where they hang their hat. It's on the defensive end.
Yeah, it's there. So I'll tell you right now, I'm kind of interested. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. Like I was on the phone with my homeboy just a moment ago, and I was telling him one team that I feel sorry for, and I feel sorry for from this point on I feel sorry for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I feel sorry for them. If Cleveland does not get it done either this game or in the finals, what do you think the headline is going to be?
I don't know what the Cleveland curse.
No,
Uh, Mitchell
LeBron
can win it.
LeBron James is going to be needed to get them over the hump.
Oh, I
They,
yeah.
you see, that's what it's going to be. Look at the. I want you to think about the headlines, what they're going to talk about.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Cavaliers has finally done something that they've done without LeBron James. Make it to an Eastern Conference Finals. You think about this. Me and you, we're probably about the same age, Rich. I'm probably a couple years older, but you know what I mean. They had some good teams back in the '80s and the '90s. Sorry, Ricky, you can't say
I know a
this,
little bit. I know like I did a lot of research.
but
Mark
they had
Price.
some good teams, but they could never get over the hump. They've never gotten to
Yeah.
the Eastern Conference Finals. Now all of a sudden they got LeBron James. They get to the Eastern Conference Finals, got a chip, and now all of a sudden that team self destructs, and then they come back, and now look where they are now. They can't get it done, and with all the drama that's going on in LA, and if he's going to opt out and he's going to be a free agent, what are they going to talk about? Well, LeBron
I'm
James
back
is going
and
to come back home and
finish where he started.
finish where he started. Let him get a retirement tour coming back home and lead them to a championship because they couldn't get it done. Because let's just be for real. And I'm gonna take my anti Spurs. I'm gonna be for real here. Let's say that they magically get over. They get past New York. They're gonna run into a buzzsaw with one of these two teams.
Mhm.
And I don't see Cleveland beating either one of these two teams.
Not in 7 games, man.
Not
And
in a
that's
7 game series. I feel bad for Cleveland from this point on. You're not going to talk about Donovan Mitchell,
yeah.
how he was able to because he was teetering on that he can't get it to get the job done, and look what he did. And then he finally got his team over the hump. Now you're going to be going up against a juggernaut like the Knicks, who on the past couple of closeout games they've blown out teams.
Yeah.
So now, if they can't get it done, it's going to be that LeBron James saga. And I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of LeBron James. I think LeBron James is a top 10 player of all time in my book. He ain't number one, but it's top
Yeah.
10 based on all his accolades to me. But I don't think a 42-year-old LeBron James is going to be that missing part, but
Yeah.
that's what the headlines are going to be. It's going to be about LeBron James. LeBron James is going to come in and he's going to lead them to a victory.
Yeah.
I also think James Harden was that piece that they needed. I mean, look at he's averaging 20 points and 5 turnovers a game.
Did you see when
James Harden's been a notorious playoff choker since 2018, since he's been the Rockets leader. Like, yes, he's a great regular season player. He'll get you 40 points. He'll get you some wins, but when it
Plays
comes
no
to
defense. Plays no defense.
not at all. But do you guys know what his numbers were yesterday?
I didn't even watch the game. I watched bits and pieces of it.
line, like he missed a bunch of threes.
He got 9 points.
Damn.
Yeah.
And they won by that much?
Yeah.
That's
Jarrett Allen stepped up. Mobley stepped up. Donovan, he's a star player. He did his job, but 30-something-year-old James Harden out of shape, and I mean, he's like that roommate that keeps kicking out roommates when he's really the problem.
Right. Yeah. See. So yeah. So I was looking at and James Harden is
oh
how come everybody makes it seem like James Harden is this superstar player? Is this player just because of his numbers? But yet, I always look at it in the playoffs. That's to me. That's when I look at you. You can be a great player because something. Everybody talks about Tracy McGrady being an all-time great scorer, but nobody. But when he's in the playoffs, nobody brings that up yet. But
yeah.
everybody. Yeah, he's a great
Speaking with
scorer.
Carmelo.
Yeah,
Speaking
Carmelo.
with Carmelo.
Yeah, Carmelo. How many times he was in New York, and I think they made the playoffs one time. I think they made it one time.
Yeah.
I'm off the cuffs right now, so I'm gonna have to look that up, and I'll correct myself when I edit this. But yeah, They've never when he was with the Knicks, they made the playoffs a couple of times with in Denver. This game is going on right now. What are your
Uh,
predictions going on for in the Western Conference Finals?
I think I'm taking my Spurs in 6. I'm taking 4-2 Spurs. That's my prediction.
What about you, Rookie?
I would have to say Spurs in 6. I would not be surprised if it's in 7.
Yeah,
The
I
way,
I'm
think
the
it
way
could
I
keep
see
going that
it,
way too.
the way I see it is, we win one, either tonight or game 2. We go back to back games, close it out, lose game 5, knock it out game 6 at home.
Yeah,
y'all are a bunch of homers. Are y'all
call it
gonna
what you want, but at the same time, I know OKC is good, but they haven't been tested. The
mm,
Spurs have matchup. I mean, if you look at the matchups across the board as a fan, Sasha, not
uh,
as a homer, but as a fan,
Yeah.
they match up very well with them.
yeah.
So
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. I looked at that right now. Yeah, I'm looking at if they match up. If they match up if they match up as a fan, yeah, they match up. They both teams match up against each other. You're right about that.
very well, very well.
But I guess I'm. You know what? I'm gonna like I was telling. I'm just gonna say it's like I was telling you a moment ago. Telling you last time me and you were chopping it up.
Hmm.
I gotta look at the I'm going to look at the whatchamacallit, and that is going to be the experience. I think experience is going to come down. If it's not going to be this series, it's got to be the next one. Sometimes San
Yeah,
Antonio plays too loose.
they
Sometimes,
do.
like sometimes I've watched a couple of their games, and I'm looking at sometimes they just when they get up big, they go and take some stupid shots, and I think
I
that's going
agree.
to pound them.
That's a very frustrating characteristic that I've noticed as well. And I'm not, but that's part of the youth.
Yeah.
That's getting lackadaisical.
Mhm.
That's when a coach got to call timeout and you're down by when you're up 25 and
And
getting that ass. You know,
And that's
that's
where
what it
I was
takes.
going to say right now, where the experience is going to come back with Mitch Johnson, because I've watched that like in certain games, like a game against Minnesota when they were blowing them out. Then all of a sudden Minnesota cuts it in to cuts it into 3, and then it's all of a sudden it's like, where's the timeout? Why didn't you call a timeout a long time ago? Where
Yeah,
you're too busy allowing these stupid plays. Like what's going on? Like you need to know when to call a timeout, when to call a play, when to have your team slow down, quit having them just take stupid shots.
yeah.
hmm And that's what.
Another,
Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead, man.
It is a. I think they got bloodied right now. This is a good old fashioned foul.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think the Thunder and Spurs have the deepest teams in the NBA right now. I think
yeah,
it's really gonna come down to the benches. I think whoever's
Yeah,
bench is going to be outscoring them. I think it's going to whoever's the bench is going to be more valuable as the bench.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because I'm gonna go. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go with OKC. I'm just gonna go with OKC. I'm gonna stand by this. I put on social media, and nobody's gonna change my mind. OKC is going to win the series in 7. I think OKC will close it out at home. This is going to be a hard fought one. I'm with you all. I don't think it's going to be blowouts across the board. Each team is going to bring it their all, but I think it's going to be that San Antonio inexperience that's going to catch up with them. I just can't go. Uh, I knew against Portland they were going to probably beat them. I thought Minnesota because Minnesota they've been to the Western Conference Finals a couple of times. I thought that was going to come back, but it looks like Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle forgot that they were playing.
Yeah, dude, I was very surprised at how poorly he played.
Mm,
He was just could not find his bucket, man.
Really, just Randall. I think Rudy Gobert is the most overrated basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
thank you.
I think he sucks. If you're 7-1 and you don't know how to do footwork and you don't know how to get a hook shot off or do anything correctly on the offensive side, you suck. I'm sorry. I've never seen
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm the same way too. The funny thing, I was just talking about that. It's like, I remember the first game now, again, because before all this shit started going on, Spurs games were always on TV. So if I wanted to watch a basketball game, I had no choice but to watch a Spurs game. I
Hmm.
remember when the Spurs were playing the Jazz, and when Rudy Gobert came in his rookie year, he was giving Tim Duncan a hard time.
Oh yeah,
And and again, he was blocking shots, and then but then there was something about him was like you're not really taking away players. You're not really a good defensive player. Everybody's making him seem like he's a good defensive player. No, he's just a shot blocker. He's not.
yeah.
He's
He,
not
he
going to
was a
make a
more
player.
he was a more athletic. He's an athletic Mark Eaton to
Right.
me.
Yeah,
That's my
that's
opinion.
what he did. He's just a shot blocker. And then what made it real laughable was back in 24, a couple years ago, when Dallas and Minnesota was playing in the Western Conference Finals, and they put him on Luca.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. You just see Luca just smiling like, "Y'all really gonna let this dude
like,
guard
Like,
me?"
really, are we really putting him on me? Like, he's not this guy who you all think he is. I think he's a good, he's a good shot blocker, but he's not. Everybody says, "Oh, he did a good job against against Joker." I mean, you gave him his numbers. He got his
Yeah.
numbers.
like
Will you say he did a good job and he was still averaging his numbers?
Joker's like that old man at the YMCA that just comes in there like he just drank about a 6 pack of beer and just busts your ass for 40 points, 15 rebounds, and fucking 13 assists, man. I can't stand him, but I love him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's
Yeah,
he's good.
and that's the same thing I was just thinking about too. Like, man, and I'm glad Ricky said the same thing. What I was thinking too. I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of his. I don't. I'm not a big fan of Rudy Gobert. Utah basically were a bunch of idiots. Well, no, actually, yeah, no,
Denver
actually,
drafted him
Minnesota was
Minnesota was a bunch of idiots for giving away all those draft choices
all those picks.
and all
Yes.
those picks and
straight
and
for that.
paying them. I mean, I never take. I'm never in another man's pockets. I don't care if you want to pay a garbage player like a $500 million, knowing that they're garbage. That's between you and that player. I don't care. But do you think that you're worth it? I mean, you just basically went in there and you robbed them. You're robbing the
He
franchise.
did.
So who do you guys think coming out of the East? Game one
I like
tomorrow.
I like the Knicks. I like the Knicks.
And how many games?
Ooh, six,
Okay. What
six.
about what about you, Ricky?
I go Knicks, and I think they knock it out either 5 or 6. The only matchups I really see that there's going to be a problem is Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, which is going to be the guarding
Mhm.
cat. Those are the only matchups I see is going to have an issue. But Harden's going to have to guard Jalen Brunson. That's not going to be easy at all. He's slow. He's
Yeah,
sluggish. He hasn't played defense in years. Back when he was on the Thunder in 2012, that was the only time I seen him play defense. In the depth of the Knicks, they have a bunch of 6 men of the year. They got Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, Josh Hart coming off the bench. Like their depth matched up with the Cavs is not up to par.
and I think the Knicks, whoever comes out of this Spurs OKC series, is gonna have their hands full with the Knicks. I don't know if it's gonna be a cakewalk like everybody. The New York is, especially if they still won on the road. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because you're going to the Mecca, going to the Mecca of basketball that hasn't been in the finals since what '99.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about diehard fans, the celebrities. It's the Mecca of basketball. And that's it's hard to those bright lights shine brighter over there. So I could see them pushing either one of these teams 6 or 7 games. Would they win the series? I don't know, but Brunson's got a lot of heart, man. I like that kid.
Well, well, I want to say Cleveland. Only reason why I want to say Cleveland is because I'm going to always go back into the '90s and those Mark Price,
Brad
Cleveland
Doherty's.
Cavaliers played the Brad Doherty's. I like Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day. Until your boy LBJ came in there and destroyed everything for me. But I want to say that, but that's just my heart saying that because
Yeah.
Just like I would think about like any like an old football team, like let's say, you know, you guys are gonna laugh at me, like the Cleveland Browns. I don't care for the Browns, but I secretly cheer for the Browns because that's that team I sat there and I watched growing up, younger, watching Vinny Testaverde, Leroy Horde, and all this. Even though Kansas City, the Chiefs, not, even though that they beat the Niners in 19 and in 23. I watched those Kansas City Chiefs teams with, you know, Steve DeBerg, the Nigerian Nightmare, Barry Word, all that. So, you know, I'm secretly like, yeah, you beat my favorite team, but I like you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. With that being said, but I'm going to agree with you guys on this one. New York is just way too stacked, and it looks like Carl Anthony Towns is doing something that I've been bitching about that he needs to start doing. Stop shooting threes and get your big ass down low and you know start beating people, beating up
Yeah.
everyone. I
Yep.
can't stand him. All he does is want to just sit there and shoot threes all the time. Now he's being aggressive. He's being aggressive down low. He's posting up players. He's not just settling for the 3 pointer. That's what I want to see right now. He's going to have to keep doing that now. From this point on,
Hmm.
he's going to have to do that.
Especially that tandem. That's a good defensive tandem against
Mhm.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
Those guys
because
are good defensive players.
they got him right there. Because let's put it like this. Because even if let's just play hypothetical, and let's say that you go up against San Antonio or you go up against OKC. The OKC, they're San Antonio. I'm pretty sure that Wimby's going to give him business.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Regardless of the fact of how I may feel about Wimby's going to give him the business.
Hmm.
And Cat's going to have to give it right back to him, and don't just sit there and just shooting threes all day.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody's going to match up across the board regardless of the fact. So I would love to see that. So that's just my opinion.
It'd be great. I think anytime the Knicks have a good season, it's like when the Lakers are doing good. It's like when the Cowboys are doing good. It's good for the league. As much as
Yeah,
people hate them, there's a lot of people that love them. You know what I mean?
yeah, that is true. It's either you love them or hate them. And so let's because we're let's give just a little shout like a little out. Do we want to do this? Do y'all want to do this again?
I think so, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. We can look at the as the week goes by and see what topics come up, and then we can hit different ones. And let's just try not to do it during the fucking Spurs game. But again,
Well,
we scheduled this before the schedule was released, so I was like,
yeah,
you know
that
what?
is true.
I,
Yeah,
I, I got you. I got you.
yeah,
We'll honor
yeah.
it. It's really hard though. It's
It
really
is.
hard, but
Yeah, my boy Titus, he was because he wanted to join. We was going to jump in. He was the first thing called me like, "Why are you scheduling it during the game?" I'm like, "So when can I? When can we do this right now? This is not going
yeah,
to be a good time because Sundays I would prefer Sundays at 6:30. But
yeah.
now we got Ricky. His schedule is not going to
He's
allow it.
working weekends.
He's got
Yeah,
yeah, so we can do it then. So it's like I'm trying to make sure that I can be able to get everybody in there. So, oh my God, really? Really? OKC? Really? This- you do know, Rich. I'm going to be hearing this on social media.
that's all good, baby. It's all to
Yeah, it
me. It's
is.
all fun, man. Like
My best friends are
there
on
was there was a point in my life when it would get real personal for me, and then it took a bit of maturity. Like, man, I love my Spurs, I love my Cowboys. I can't argue with everybody online. It's not. I can't let it ruin my whole Sunday when the Cowboys lose.
Right.
On to the next game. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So, so Ricky, how you feeling so far, man?
Oh yes, sir. I love it. I've always wanted to be able to talk about sports and voice my opinions and just debate about any topic, football or basketball. I'm enjoying it.
All right, and just so you know, just follow us on all on our platforms. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram. We're also on Instagram as well. But if you want to give everybody your handle on your other social medias if you want people to follow you or whatever it is. But I'm Saucy Robinson. We got Ricky. We got Mr. Pitmaster Sloan too. Oh, you know what? Pitmaster Sloan. That man. He's on the pit. You
Yes,
look at
sir.
him right now. If you see him, he looks like he's definitely on the pit all right now, and he sampled a whole bunch everything like that.
Let me
Right.
tell you, brother. When I go to bed after I've been cooking all day, my lady's like, "I love the smell of that smoke in your beard."
I'm Sashi Robinson. Like I said, we got Ricky, we got Pitmaster Sloan here with anger management, real shit talking. We'll be doing this next time. Maybe we'll have a full complement with. We'll probably have a couple more people with us talking shit. Good night, everyone.